Hope you're in for a real treat because we are doing some smoked ribs and we're doing the 3-2-1 method. I've done this recipe before and I've always used my oven, but I never had a smoker until recently. So let's get into it. Really, this isn't too fancy, guys. This is pretty basic, but if you're new to getting into smoking like I am, you may be wondering the best method to do ribs. I wouldn't say this is necessarily the best, but this is the way I like to do it. So I've got 4 racks of ribs here. We're doing a mustard binder. For the first 2, we're using the new Dano's Outlaw Sweet and Tangy. This stuff is really good. It's got a really nice flavor to it. So you want to make sure you get your barbecue rub, whatever rub you want to use, covered on everywhere across the ribs. Here's the second pair that we're doing. Again, we're going with the mustard binder and the Dano's Outlaw Spicy Barbecue this time. So we're going to do 2 different sets here, one with one kind of sauce and another with a different kind. So we're going to get on the smoker here, and then we're going to go 3 hours uncovered at 225. While we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and do some appetizers here. I've got some jalapenos, and we're going to do bacon wrapped stuffed jalapenos. And this little core kind of gadget that I think I got on Amazon, the little holder, and then it comes with a little coring thing. And man, that thing works so good. I did some cream cheese and I put some brown sugar in there with some honey, sweetened it up real nice. And I found it to be easier to cut the jalapenos in half and to fill with your filling, whatever you desire there. So I did the cream cheese, a couple of cheddar cheese cubes, stuck them back together, and then wrapped it with a piece of bacon. Try to wrap it around there as tight as I can. And you'll see in a minute here, I did use some toothpicks to kind of hold them together. And before we get them on the smoker, we're going to hit them with that Dano's Outlaw Sweet and Tangy. That goes really good with the bacon. So we're going to get those on the top shelf there, the smoker. They're basically done when the bacon's done and crispy. So here we are going to remove the ribs from the smoker. Again, this is a 3-2-1 method. So we did 3 hours uncovered. Now we're going to do 2 hours covered. So here's the way I like to do it. I get a big piece of aluminum foil out. I put down some pads of butter with some honey and dark brown sugar. And then we're going to get the first rack of ribs out. And the first sauce I'm using is this Famous Dave's Sweet and Zesty. And that's the ones I'm using with the Sweet and Tangy barbecue rub. That Sweet and Zesty Famous Dave sauce is fantastic. Probably one of my new favorites. I really like it. So we flip it back over, and then we got some pads of butter on top. We're going to sauce both sides, brown sugar, honey, do the whole thing. And you want to get that all spread around there. Now, when you wrap these tight, you got to use something for moisture. Normally, I use apple juice, but I didn't have any on hand, and I forgot to get it. We're using some Diet Mountain Dew. So we're just going to go ahead and pour a little bit of that over the ribs before you wrap them up tight. It doesn't take a whole bunch, but it needs some liquid in there for some moisture. And you want to go ahead and wrap them up pretty good. And like I said, they should be pretty tight. We're going to stick this back on the smoker, and we're going to repeat the process for the second one. My poppers are done. I'm going to get those inside. So the second set here, we're doing the Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. And this is the one where I used the spicy barbecue rub on this one. Both of them turned out really good. Doing the same process, honey, brown sugar, pads of butter, and then the Diet Mountain Dew in there for some moisture. And then this is after 2 hours covered. You want to make sure that you got something available to get the liquid into. And I made a freaking mess there the first time. Frank is loving it. He's getting at it, and I'm trying to get him out of the way. So I learned my lesson there. I went ahead and got one of those little tubs so I can pour the liquid into for the rest of them. But we're basically getting the liquid out of them, and then you want to go ahead and sauce them again. And once they are all sauced, we're going to put them back on the smoker. And we're still going to be at 225, and we're going to cook them again for another hour. So we did 3 hours uncovered, 2 hours covered, and 1 hour uncovered for the final one. It might take a whole hour. It might take a little bit less than an hour. I'm sticking my probes in here because once they reach 190 or between 190 internal temperature to 200, they're pretty much going to be falling off the bone at that point. So once they get up to like 190, you can go ahead and pull them. And that's pretty much what I'm doing here. We're going to go ahead and pull them off. This one hit 190 first, scooting them over. And there you go, folks. Look how good those things turned out. Super juicy. Look at that juice coming out of there. Nice pink smoke ring all the way around. That's how they looked. Those were the Sweet Baby Ray's ones. Those turned out really good. Really, all of them turned out really good. It's time consuming, guys, but it's pretty easy. Like I said, nice smoke ring around the ribs, and some of them came right off the bone. So give it a try, guys. 3-2-1 method. Some people don't like to cover them up, but I do. It's a great method. The ribs always come out good, and they were delicious. Give me a like and subscribe, guys, all that good stuff, and we will see you next time.